Well, hello everybody. My name is John, and I would like to talk about the flat Earth. See, I've been having this conversation with somebody on Facebook about the Earth being flat. Considering it's the 21st century, I think it's time to end this debate once and for all. Is the Earth flat or round? I told this guy to make his case, and if the Earth is flat, then everything we are being told is a lie. If me and billions of people are wrong, it is important that we are proven wrong. Okay, I would like to start off first with what he says, his proof. Let's just call this man Chuck. Okay. Let me just load up my Facebook. You know how computers are slow, dumb. Maybe it's just my computer. Oh, hold on. Okay, the first thing he said was, okay, first, every symbol of government with a map has a flat Earth model truck. Pretty much what he's saying is, yeah, maps are flat. So doesn't that mean the world is flat? Second, the moon and sun are the same size and can be seen during the first and last 20 minutes of the day. Doesn't offer any evidence of the sun and the moon being the same size. Just wanted to point that out. Stars have told the exact same story of the zodiac for epochs. Okay, there's some truth to this, but then again, the zodiacs, when we look up there, we kind of connected the dots ourselves to make these animal figures, right? It's all about perspective. The moon will always show the same full moon phase every single month for eternity. Well, this is probably not true, but there's, we only see one side of the moon because the way it rotates around the sun and stuff, and it rotates around Earth, I'm sorry. We can only see, the one side. It's not spinning the same, speed as the Earth. So yeah, of course we're only going to see the one side of the moon. That's why there's a dark side of the moon, man. The round heavens of heaven. I'm sorry, let me say that. The round shape of heaven's bodies is due to infinite plane wrapping into a coral circle in the third dimension. I don't know what that means, I'm sorry. If you can understand what that means, please explain it to me better. Because it just sounds like a bunch of words put together to me. Really, it's a hypercube in which the sacred geometry of inner space is made manifest in all brains. I think he meant in all brains, but okay, let's just take this down. It's a hypercube, which is, I believe, a geometric symbol, in which the sacred geometry, I don't know much about sacred geometry, but he doesn't really go into this at all. He just says this crazy thing of inner space is made and manifest in all brains. See, if you're gonna say something like that, you gotta explain what the heck that means. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a geometric, scientist or math guy or whatever. So you gotta explain stuff like that. Like, if it just sounds like a bunch of words you put together to sound smart. NASA is all CGI, not one single photograph. Nixon, Kissinger, Donald Rumsfeld, all on camera laughing about fake moon landing to stay ahead of the Soviets. Okay, again, there's some truth to this. They did make a fake moon landing video, but that was just like just in case we didn't make it to the moon. You know, like they had backup just in case. You know, oh, we didn't make it to the moon. Put off the fake stuff just in case. You know, or they couldn't take photograph or whatever, or they were afraid that they couldn't film out in space, so they made this fake moon landing. But again, we really did go to the moon after that, though. We beat the Soviets. Now, the Russians are the only ones in space. But anyway, on a plane, things disappear bottom force. On a bar, the top will bend force from view. Yeah, okay. Water on a spinning bar cannot fly off fast enough. Okay. String theory had 30 years trying to prove gravity, falling to and spending millions. Okay, so, oh, a whole 30 years and didn't figure out string theory yet. Ooh, I mean, we've been having this conversation for a couple of thousands of years between flat Earth and, spherical Earth. And you think that they're going to understand string theory in 30 years? Give it a couple hundred years and maybe we have a better understanding of string theory, okay? Oh, so impatient. A rock thrown into water sinks due to density, but an apple fallen from a tree is a mystical force created by gravity. We're gonna go more into this in detail, but I don't think gravity is a mystical force. Water always find level. Something must be keeping the water inside of set boundaries. The ice wall is Antarctic ice, not just a continent. I have 50 more proofs I could go through, but it's 7. Anyway, he said he's got more proof than this. So, of course, other people chimed in, asking, "Hey, is the moon flat?" Stuff like that. Some guy brought up Magellan, sailing around the world. There is no edge. People, oh yeah, the Earth is round. Stop talking about it. Guy brought up seasons and longitude and latitude. And how would that work on a flat Earth? And I researched flat Earth before, and then I never came across how seasons work within it. Nobody wanted to, northern and southern hemispheres. People want that to be explained. Why is it warm out there, equator? But that's where the sun is, man. Most direct people, putting their 2 cents in. Oh yeah, and somebody brought up the water spinning fast enough. Apparently, he saw a video of a guy doing that spinning a basketball that is wet and water's flying everywhere. So therefore, water on a spinning ball must be flying off everywhere, man. It's the same for basketball. Oh my god. Somebody brought up water in the ocean from floating around, and he pretty much says gravity doesn't exist. Everything is density. Water finds the lowest point, i.e. level. Water cannot stick to a ball, ever. It will drop to the bottom or totally fly off spinning. The ice wall keeps water oceans. This is why, like a bathtub, water is rising due to polar ice caps melting. Sorry. Oh my god. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Okay. backpack. And somebody saying that we're not claimed that they know if the wolf is round or flat. I make that claim right now. Okay, hold on. Somebody brought up that density does not apply to objects in liquid, as opposed to water displacement. More dense objects displace more water. There's a difference between objects falling through air. All objects, regardless of mass, fall through the air at 9.8 miles per second squared. That's called gravity. Okay. I guess this all happened, before I got home from work after stating this. For something like the Earth, this is me saying on Facebook, for something like the Earth to being flat to be possible would require a cover-up and conspiracy so massive that it is beyond reason. Not include the millions of people involved with every space agency around the world in the last 50 years. You would have to include many large bridge architects and engineers that have to take into account the curvature of the Earth in their, design. Every sniper who has to take a long distance shot has to take in effect the Coriolis effect, which can only happen in, a spherical Earth. Many missile systems rely on satellites and the curvature of the Earth to hit their targets. Not to mention airplane pilots, sailors who circumnavigate the world. A conspiracy theory this large is impossible. It's not like the Kennedy assassination, which, takes like 5 people to pull off. And, to quote Kennedy, we choose to go to the moon, not because it's easy, but because it is hard. What sickens me about the flat Earth, though, and this whole moon landing is fake hoax, is that it tells people our greatest accomplishments as a species were not real. And our dreams of traveling the universe. This is what his response to that is. The don't act real, I guess he means they don't act real. Engineers and architects, they do not take any curves of open planning ever. They even laugh at the thought. Ha 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 ha! Really? How many architects do you know? Of course, it's only a matter with long bridges, like the Golden Gate Bridge. The towers are a little wider on top than they are at the bottom because the curve is rolled off. Of course, he never responded to that. But he probably doesn't know any architects, right? But they would tell him. And if I'm wrong about that, please correct me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that, for bridges anyway, that they have to take into the curvature of the like Golden Gate Bridge, really big ones. So I put up a picture of the flat Earth and how it works. Someone says, so the sun is actually God shining on a flashlight in a circle. I guess. I bring up that it's a hypercube thing. He never explains that. Of course he doesn't, but he can't explain that, but it makes no sense. And if that makes sense, if a hypercube in sacred geometry of inner space and manifests in a place makes sense to you, and you can explain that better, please do. But I'm very curious what that even means. Of course, I bring up gravity is not a mystical force. It's created by the bending of space and time because of the presence of matter. Then I said, Chuck, your proofs are not proofs. Most of them cannot even be objectively validated with scientific experimentation. The reasons we have the zodiac is because we choose to connect the dots in the sky to see animals and such. I can't wait to see these other 50 proofs. And I don't think he really goes into the 50 proofs, but I would love to see them. String theory tried being proved for 30 years, spending millions clashing university and just bad science, all in the name of finding nothing. Again, freaking give it some time, okay? Maybe it is a waste of money. Maybe we can use that money to cure cancer or something. But, that's the thing. I get more interested. And he really goes off at this point. Trust your senses. Does it feel like we're moving? Does it seem feasible that the illusion that is matter could really be hurtling through space, randomly hitting things, blowing up stars? They have you thinking stars are the sun, but it's not true. I just want to say, no, what they're trying to say is that the sun is a star, not the stars are the sun. Again, creation is really a giant clock. Okay, I gotta admit there is clockwork in the universe. It takes 365 days to rotate against the sun, and it takes the sun whatever, like hundreds of thousands of years to rotate around the Milky Way galaxy. So yeah, it's just one big clock. Ooh. Once you realize this, it's really more like a projection than real. You can accept that science admits it's wrong. Observation has proven not only to change the experiment, but give rise to matter. It's all vibrational. And only because we have body with eyes does it appear real. Matter for to explore. There is some truth to that when we absorb something, it does change in an experiment. And it'd be interesting to understand that with science, why that happens. But let's not go into that. It's all vibrational. And it's not because we have eyes. It's because we have a brain, and the eyes see something and they tell our brain, and then we, understand reality. Apparently he only has eyes and no brain, though. And someone, superior knowing, man, is not science. It's realizing through science had done some good things in reality. It's been wrong 90% of the time. Yeah, science is wrong a lot. And it's normally proven wrong by other scientists. But science, like religion, wants believers, want priest class and followers. Neither want fully realized human beings. Neither want a Logi monster like Jesus. When you journey through inner space, you realize app and tonal is all in your head, man. Admiral Bohr is the most respected and resourced human being, and admits that there is more than meets the eye of what an Antarctic is. He even says there is a continent beyond the ice. Admiral Bohr is the most respected and resourced human being, like ever, for his time. Like what do you mean he's the most respected? I had to look him up. He's the guy that flew over the North Pole and flew over the South Pole. Fine, he's bringing up a guy that literally flew over the South Pole as his proof that the Earth is flat. Again, craziness. I think it's crazy to force and try to force me to know every single truth possible just because I know something is wrong with our concept of a ball, sun-centered gravity, etc. Of course, I chimed in and pretty much told him there was something wrong with his belief, and it's not founded in science. So therefore, it can't be proven with science, but it can be disproven with science. It doesn't feel like a ball is not proof. And then I asked him what kind of drugs he on. I mean, it gets ugly, this conversation. I'm not going to go into all the ugly parts. Science, the new religion. Okay, because The methodology of science. A religion uses bullshit religious belief to justify his belief in a flat earth. Oh, the hypocrisy. Letting go of a ball is just ego. Once you let go of having to be right about something, you only think because priest told you to believe it. It's ball. Sun center hurtling through space, causing warp time, gravity, raise the mind to higher level of thought. All the stuff that needs to be true, the ball theory, is really crazy. Priest told you Earth is flat, believes Earth is flat. Scientist gives evidence. I look at evidence. I agree with the conclusion. You know, it's not like I agree with science all the time. I think that global warming stuff is partially true, partially false, but we go into that some other time. Flat Earth may not be perfect yet in explaining what is, but it's a start in better direction than ball by far. May not be perfect because it's not true. The shape of the Earth is a very easy thing to determine in the year 2016 without NASA. And this theoretical Earth makes 100% sense to anybody with the ability to use logic. Flat Earth is not perfect to people who believe in it. Or then he tells me, dude, you're really unable to open your mind. It's frustrating, man. Just open your mind. I'm a pretty open-minded person. I just want to say that. But, okay, it gets ugly here. I'm not even going to go through this ugliness, you know. Name calling. To me, it's obvious. Can't be ball soaking in the sun, hurtling through space. But, yeah, I call him an idiot a couple of times. But he's, I mean, I was getting frustrated by the crazy stuff he says. I think it came to a point where, you know, he's like, you disgust me, blah, blah, blah. I told him to go to Antarctica. Oh my god. And when it comes down to it, I said, in the name, great name of Yusufal, who opens my eyes to the ball up and the truth, bow down! That's why I'm one with Yusufal. Of course somebody else gets into this. And, you know, then people start posting all these videos and stuff. And the one video is pretty good. It shows like how the, you know, flat Earth would look, like how the sun would look. It would just go across the sky. You know, for us it goes like this way, right? But for a flat Earth it would just go like this. So you'd be able to see it, and it would just get smaller and smaller and disappear. But then when it gets, you know, near noon, it'd be like this big. And by evening it would be this big. It would just, you know, by perception. It's a pretty good video. I mean, if I find it, I'd put the link in. Trust me, going back to the Bible, person was hardest thing in my life. I consider myself an anti-religious intellectual. Then Flat Earth forced me to realize the Bible is fantastic and full of indistinguishable facts to hear. I read it in a book, man. The book is 6,000 years old or whatever. 2,000 years old, I'm sorry. Jesus was a Logi. Inner space is the true traveling journey. Beware of the Jews. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. He says, beware of the Jews. Yeah, this guy's very enlightened. Who are not of the tribe of Israel. Oh, okay, it's okay. They're not the Jews part of the tribe of Israel. For they are the synagogue of Satan. The end times will be like times of Noah, cloning, hybrid species, chemo, genetic engineering, etc. Oh my God. Then there's somebody called him a bigot. He's like, how in God's name are you calling me a bigot? You just said something about the Jews being God and Satan. Like, it's okay, the Jews. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, then more videos, the New Christ test thing. Yeah, people putting videos up. And so I'm just enjoying this. But he probably didn't even look at the videos because, when people have this cognitive dissonance thing, they refuse to look at, evidence that goes against their theory. He never explains the longitude and latitude and coordinates and stuff. I mean, I just gotta say, I love how stupid these flat earthers sound. And how they resort to his like softest language. Like the earth is a sphere, man, not a ball, okay? Gravity is not magic. A lot of these YouTube flat earthers people call people who believe in that ball thing stupid, man. You believe in the earth is a ball. How stupid are you? I don't know, how stupid are you? You believe in flat things. I think I got ball. Okay, back on. Do 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 do. So I'm having technical difficulties as normal. But anyway, yeah, a lot of these like flat earth people, they admit that they don't know anything about science. If you believe in the flat earth, don't act like it's true. Something is either true or false. Science is the methodology used to determine objective reality. If you can't use science to prove your theory, it's not a theory, it's a belief. Therefore, if you don't believe in science, then you don't believe in objective reality. Therefore, everything in your mind is subjective. If everything is subjective, then why are we even bothering to have this conversation about objective reality? Go find a unicorn. Go fuck a three-headed, 10-armed Hindu goddess. And Chuck, you always act like he's one of those guys, right? That always act as if he's like very enlightened and awake, and everyone else is in the matrix. That everyone else is living in objective reality, and he is the one acting like it's subjective. Like I used to believe in conspiracy theories, and some sort of them I still believe in to a certain extent. I used to believe like some people, like the Chuck guy, that everyone else is asleep. Now I'm older. I know that the Matrix is a movie number one, but it's a make-believe construct, and the only people who are in it are the people who think reality is subjective. He is in the Matrix. Until he realizes that he's on this tiny blue ball circling around the small ball that spins around a cluster of stars in a massive universe, the Matrix is real. Him and anybody that believes in this flat earth thing is gonna stay. To all you flat earthers, I say, take the blue pill, look at the sky and realize that you belong to something that is far greater and more wondrous than dull, flat earth. And I might have paraphrased a little bit, but that's what I said on Facebook. And I was hoping it was one of those like things that ended the conversation, but nah. This is creation. I'm not sure if there are other dome places. The Anunnaki stuff makes you feel like there must be other life also trying at creation. If nature cannot be near a vacuum, how is gravity enough to keep our existence separate from infinite vacuum? Oh. Of course, then I said, because gravity pushes the vacuum away. There is more to this that has not yet been understood. See, science is a progression. Science from the present is built on science from the past. And science from the future is going to be built on science from the hold on a second. Calm down. I got a cat on me. Like I said, science from the future is going to be built on science from the present. The flat earth theory, on the other hand, is digression and superstition. It is based on long disproven hypotheses. This is me saying to him, do you even understand the scientific method? Were all your belief based on blind faith? Maybe you need to open up your mind. It's been long proven the earth is round, since ancient Greece actually. Who knows, maybe the Atlanteans proved it beforehand. If the Anunnaki was real, how did they get through the dome to enslave us? By the way, I'm not denying the possibility of Anunnaki existence. I'm pretty sure I'm an open-minded human being. I just like proof and evidence, which are two words you seem not to know what they mean. And this conversation is coming to an end. This is where it gets kind of interesting. Edit mode. Hey, kitty. Of course, somebody's like, what does Anunnaki have to do with the world being flat? Sorry, I'm using brain cells at this point in time. Okay. Whoa. I'm not sure Chris One, I don't know who Chris One is, had an interesting take on one space and then Anunnaki. But this is creative place. And with the Bible, Epic of Gilgamesh, Vedas, and other native myth, you get a picture of God being so far removed from this creation, over the creation of us. It seems source energy is consciousness, which science is correct to either create, not destroyed. But like the religion says, we are eternal beings. Then you have RH blood type, which is not part of the Earth evolution, or the humans or chimps. You then get this projection of holographic images inside our brain. Again, inside our brain. O-U-R, by the way. Not O-R. This little word you can learn how to spell. You then get this projection. Oh, wait. So the whole infinite space. Infinite stars. Again, S-T-A-R-S, not S-T-A-S. Planets, etc. It's just not possible because of the Fermi paradox. Science is so incredible that it went so far out to become untrue. Science is untrue. Yeah. I'm just gonna pause this for a second. I gotta get some water. Man, I'm thirsty. This flat earth thing is making me thirsty. Okay, so myths are the stories used to explain what people did not understand. Evolution is just a scientific theory, not a fact. I did get in trouble for this. Still, this has to be worked out to things to explain about human evolution. Maybe aliens came down and fucked some chimps. What holographic images are you talking about? Again, he never understands this. that he needs to explain things for. If reality is an illusion and subjective, then are we in my reality or are we in Jimbo's reality? Fermi's paradox is that there are these planets and no aliens. So if there are no aliens, where the fuck did the Anunnaki came from? Maybe we have aliens in a bunker somewhere. I'm guessing if aliens came down to our planet and seen this conversation, they're probably thinking, should we tell this guy that the planet is not flat? Or should we just let him figure it out on his own? Aliens are most likely not going to get involved with us until we stop bombing each other. Or maybe the aliens already blew each other up. As far as consciousness goes, I prefer to think that the universe itself is conscious entity and we're just small parts of it experiencing itself. Then this guy freaks out who just happened to be in this conversation. Evolution's proven, man. Look at fish, look at birds, look at, bats. How do they see, man? It's because of evolution. Evolution. Evolution's just a theory. What? Like, got so mad. I'm like, okay, again, I'm gonna rephrase it. Darwin's theory of evolution is just a theory. There's more to evolution than what we understand, right? There's things we didn't discover or figure out yet. So, the theory of evolution could look a lot different than 100 years. I want to call it fact, you know what I'm saying? Again, the definition of a theory in a scientific sense is a coherent group of tested general propositions commonly regarded as correct that can be used as principles of explanation and prediction for a class of phenomena. So therefore, just stop freaking out, okay? Until you actually know what theory means. Evolution's a fact. Again, fucking read what I just said, podcast. But back to what this Chuck guy was saying. We don't know how life starts. We don't know how species become another species. We don't know where humans came from, or where RH blood came from years later. We don't know how the Cambrian explosion could take place if it's 1-to-1 species evolution. We really don't know how the universe started, with infinite youth theory beginning to take over Big Bang theory. I mean the holes, again, WHOLES, right? No, it's spelled HOLES. Okay, if I misspell stuff sometimes, I normally go back and correct it. But I have better, I spell better than this guy. I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but still, I mean, the whole depth after hundreds of years of science, or why many know me return. Why many know me return to spirit for further explanation of life. After the double slit experiment and theoretical physics took over, many came to the conclusion we are all guessing. And my guess can just be as valid as the so-called priest of scientism, man. Again, no, evolution is not a theory. Evolution is a theory. Even scientists call it a theory. We have not discovered how new species came into existence. We have a pretty good understanding of microevolution and changes within a species. I think we should study the koi wolf, the only new species I can think of, and advance the theory of evolution. Again, you gotta study evolution, right? Figure it out more. And this is what Chuck was talking about, which I actually agree with him. That people blindly believe in science. And yes, the state does use science as a religion. Just as they use religion as a control mechanism. What makes science better than religion, though, is that it has a methodology to determine what is true and false. Scientists have a theory on how the universe began, and now they have to prove it. Spirituality, on the other hand, makes a guess, does not even try to explain it, does not even try to disprove it, and wants others to believe based on nothing. Scientists, only the hand, are constantly proving each other wrong. Spirituality is way more arrogant than science because it assumes it's right without even proving itself. Everything these flat earthers believe is based entirely on assumption. I study the flat earth and not one thing makes any logical sense. And it depends on denying everything that does make sense. So yeah, that's how I feel about flat earth. That's the end of the conversation. He never really responded to that. I guess he got tired of it. But if I'm this representing flat earth, please write your freaking opinions down and I get back to you. But it just doesn't make sense to me. And if it makes sense to you and you can explain it better, please do. I would love to have this conversation. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Hey, kitty.